Hey everybody, it's Mike Kennedy. Welcome to the 213th 5 for Friday Legal Ethics Quiz. I'm doing this week's intro by video from my garage bar. And I'm doing it from the garage bar for two different reasons. One of those reasons is that in a few minutes I'm going to actually sing a song as penance for an ethics violation that I committed in last Friday's blog post. Get to that in a second. The other reason I'm doing today's intro by video is I'm going to take the occasion to use an event that's happening this weekend and some of the memorabilia that hangs in the garage bar to try to share with you a lesson as to how conflicts of interest and imputed disqualification work here in Vermont. Now, you may notice I'm wearing all orange. I just went for a run in my orange. Beautiful day, by the way. I hope you lawyers and legal professionals are getting out there and taking advantage of the weather to help with lawyer wellness. But anyway, the orange is because I'm a huge fan of Clemson football. This is my Clemson flag. Tomorrow it will not be there on the wall. It will be flying proudly outside in anticipation of tomorrow night's game between Clemson and Notre Dame. Now, I say what I'm about to say, knowing that I'm going to say it at my own peril, because there are two law firms in Burlington that are chock full of lawyers who are Notre Dame football fans, lawyers who follow this blog. There's a probate judge who's a big Notre Dame football fan, and an executive director of the Vermont Bar Association who's a big Notre Dame football fan, each of whom I have to spend time with later today at an event in Rutland. There's also a guy called my father, who is a huge Notre Dame football fan, who, but for the fact that he's still alive, would be rolling in his grave at the end of this video. So anyway, my flag hangs here. Something else that usually hangs in the garage bar is this. It's a great piece of sports memorabilia that goes with all my other memorabilia. This is something that Terry Corsons gave to me. Terry, thank you. Great gift for the garage. And what it is a replica of a sign that hangs in this stairway that goes from Notre Dame's locker room down to the football field. And all the players and coaches touch it on their way to the game for luck. Now, given my interest in Clemson winning tomorrow, and given how superstitious I am, this flag, this particular one that Terry gave me, has a conflict. It can't hang in here tomorrow. So it will be folded up, and it will be put inside, maybe actually outside, I haven't decided yet. And because of the conflict, it's out. So here's how imputed disqualification works in Vermont. Remember, if you're a lawyer in Vermont, if you have a concurrent conflict of interest under Rule 1.7, that conflict is imputed to all the other lawyers in your firm. So this little flag, it has a conflict. That conflict is imputed to and means that you lawyers at those firms in Burlington, you can't come over tomorrow. Terry, Judge Anderson, you can't come over tomorrow. Dad, you can't come over tomorrow. None of you can come over tomorrow. That's just how imputed disqualification works. Conflict here, imputed to all the rest of you. So that's my little tip on conflicts of interest today. So, second, I referenced last week's blog on the egregious ethics violation that I committed. The introduction to last week's 5 for Friday quiz was my first annual power ranking of the Halloween candies. I ranked the top 5. Peanut M&Ms were number 1. That blog post, by the way, is already like the 3rd most read on my blog this year. It generated 46 different responses with people sharing with me their own rankings or commenting on mine. Big thank you, by the way, to my mom. My mom didn't comment on the post. What she did was better. She actually bought me a bag full of my top 5 candies and gave them to me on Halloween. So thank you, Mom. Anyway, in my post, I ranked as the number 2 best Halloween candy, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And in my explanation of why it was number 2, or why peanut butter cups were number 2, I mentioned that they have the best commercial jingle. Remember? Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I was wrong. I was way, way wrong. That was an incompetent statement, violation of Rule 1.1. I did not competently describe the top jingles of the candies. As many readers pointed out, the top jingle, ooh, just lost my screen. 1 second. the Peter Paul Almond Joy Mounds jingle. That is the best one. So to make up for my mistake, my sanction, if you will, I'm going to recreate the performance I gave at the VBA meeting several years ago when I sang the Schoolhouse Rock version of the preamble. And I'm going to sing along to the 1978 version of the Almond Joy Mounds commercial. I invite you all, wherever you are, nobody's watching, nobody's gonna know, stand up with me and sing along. It's a great way to get your Friday started, a great way to get your weekend started, a great way to build a little bit of, what shall we say, wellness into the work that you're gonna do the rest of the day. So without further ado, here we go. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate, chili coconut. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul Mounds don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. So there we have it. That person walking by thinks I'm nuts, and right now I do feel like a nut. But thanks for listening. Hopefully you take the quiz and have a great weekend, and go Clemson.